I just woke up, and this is so important that I'm just gonna jump straight into this video and start talking about it. So if you are new to GLP-1 meds and you are looking to get on a compounded version, right? Tirzepatide, Semaglutide, and you're just starting out, this video is for you. Good morning, everybody. It's Allie. I'm on a fantabulous weight loss journey, and hopefully you'll subscribe, come along for the ride, because I put out new videos every day. Let's get into it. So I saw somebody post today in one of the support groups, and I've literally been awake for 10 minutes. Hence, we've got crazy hair going on. We're not awake yet, but this is really important, and I just figured I was just going to jump right into it. So the person who posted was saying that they were looking at, they went to a local weight loss clinic, and they were looking to get onto a GLP-1 med, but they weren't sure which one to choose. They were thinking about choosing Tirzepatide because people say that it has fewer side effects, and also people lose more weight on it. But at the same time, Semaglutide is cheaper, so she was wondering what she should do. And if you are that person who posted that question in that support group and you're here, this video is for you. So here's what I would recommend to anyone who's in this situation. If you are just starting out and insurance is not going to cover any of these medications for you, right, and you've already checked, then what I recommend that you do is you go with a responsible telehealth company like Join Mochi or Fridays or Row. There's a whole big long list. If you would like the entire list, it is a file that I have saved in my support group, which is linked in the description box below. But those are kind of my top 3 recommendations at this point. Here's the reason why I don't recommend med spas, weight loss clinics, going through your local doctor for your compounding. 1, these pharmaceutical companies are coming for these small fish vicious. Like, they're sending out the cease and desist letters, these little small practices, they're dropping like flies, right? And you don't want to have to deal with you're literally in the middle of a month or at the end of a month and you're going to get a refill, and your doctor or your med spa or your weight loss clinic is like, oh, just kidding. Yeah, we're not going to be doing that anymore. But here's some supplements or some other shots that we can give you. You can take this lipo 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 shot and you'll lose weight too, right? Like, do not put yourself in a situation where you have to deal with that, because that's stressful. Secondly, if Eli Lilly succeeds and they pull Tirzepatide from availability to these smaller places, right? Even if it's temporary or however that's going to pan out, right? We're just going to have to wait and see. You do not want to be in a situation where you are with a weight loss clinic or some, or a doctor's office or whatever, that does not have a plan to address that, right? Bigger companies that have been around for a while, like Mochi, I made a video on it. They have already expressed to their people, hey, we're not going to stop providing this to our patients, and we have a plan in place for if this gets pulled. And you really want to make sure that you're going with a company that has a plan, right? Not just, oops, sorry, yeah, no, okay, we did the best we could, right? You don't want to go that route. The next thing that you want to keep in mind, and every time I say this, I get at least one person in the comments that wants to argue with me, but if you're new here, I pride myself on doing research, and there are a ton of med spas, weight loss centers that are watering down these medications, and that can affect your weight loss. Now, are they all doing it? No, I'm not lumping all of them into this bad category. But if you're paying out of pocket for a medication that you have to drive and more than likely get it administered to you every week, some people buy the shots in advance, take them home, do them themselves. But many people with these weight loss clinics, like, they require you to come in and they weigh you and do all that. So you're spending all this money, all this gas, and then there's a potential that they're watering down your medication. Like, why would you even go that route? That's a terrible idea. But if you go with a responsible telehealth company, right, like Mochi, Fridays, I'm not affiliated, by the way, then you set yourself up for success, because if you have challenges with the medication, at least you'll know in the back of your mind that it's coming from a responsible source, and you know that you're not getting something that's watered down, and that's the reason why you're having issues, right? Because not everybody loses weight on the first few doses of any of the GLP-1s. Sometimes they have to go up to a higher dose in order to start losing weight. And I have videos on that, so you can go check that out. So the thing is, like, you want to set yourself up for success. You want to go with a telehealth company that has a plan in case Tirzepatide gets pulled. You want to go with Tirzepatide because, yes, generally speaking, people lose more weight, they have better results, but it's also the one that's going to be taken off the shortage list first. So go ahead and get on it. Use it as long as you can. It may take them 6 months to get it off of the shortage list, right? That way you've got 6 months under your belt, and then if they pull the rug out from underneath you, you can always switch to Semaglutide, which is cheaper, which has already been said that it's going to be on the shortage list for at least another year. So there's no reason to start with Semaglutide, right? Unless it's just a matter of cost, and then not have other options to fall back on, right? Like the Tirzepatide. There are other GLP-1s, but again, not as effective. So if it was me, I'm not a medical professional, I'm not a doctor, I'm just telling you what I would do with the information that I know. I would not go with a weight loss clinic. I would go with a responsible telehealth company. I would compare prices, see who's running a sale. They are all running sales right now. See who's running a sale, calculate up how much the cost is going to be. If there's a membership fee, if they charge you for shipping, if they, what they charge for the meds, do they charge a different price for the medication as the dose goes up? That's very important. You don't want to get comfortable with a telehealth company and then come to find out as you move up in dose that when you get to, the mid-range doses, they're going to jack up the price, right? And you can't afford that. So check the pricing. See what it is they're offering to you. Is it, are they requiring a membership fee, but they also offer you unlimited doctor's visits? They offer a nutritionist or a dietitian. They offer support groups. They offer, what labs, whatever. Make sure you're checking all of the details. And again, I'm not affiliated with any specific company. So if you find one that works best for you, the number one question you need to be asking them is, what is your company's plan for when Tirzepatide gets pulled off the market? And if they tell you, oh, we don't know, or, oh, we're just going to stop carrying it, or we don't really have a plan, then definitely say, okay, great, thanks for your time. Move on to the next one, right? Because at this point in the game, some of these telehealth companies they're just popping up, right? And they really haven't been around for all that long. And they don't have a plan. Their plan is to make as much money as they can. And when medications start dropping off the shortage list, right, they'll move on to something else. So, and I see a lot of them are turning to the research peptides, and they're really pushing those, right? Like what I mentioned, the lipo 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 shot, right? Like, so you need to be careful. You need to do your research, right? And when in doubt, if you're not sure about a company, go into these various support groups and post and ask about them. Of course, there's always mine, which is the positive only support group, which is linked in the description box below, but you could go into any support group. Mochi does have their own support group, if I could talk. It's very large. It is not labeled as a Mochi support group, so just be aware that if you post in there, you are going to get a lot of responses of people saying, I love Mochi, here's my coupon code, right? So just keep that in mind. But aside from that, all of the other groups, right? Also, side note, if you are going to post and ask about where you should get your meds online, please do not accept any invitations of medication from anybody who private messages you. I don't care if they say they're a doctor. I don't care if they say they're a pharmacist. I don't care if they say they work at a pharmacy. No. Do not buy your medication off of Facebook. It's illegal. And it's also a scam. They're just going to take your money. Okay, I'm just throwing that out there. Because again, I'm assuming that the people who are going to watch this are 100% new. So, just be careful. Do your research. Choose a company who has a plan, right? Go with Tirzepatide. And then if it gets pulled, you can always use Semaglutide as your backup. Okay, I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, give me a thumbs up. If you haven't already, subscribe, because why not? I'd love to have you along for the ride. Again, support group link in the description box below. And as always, be kind, rewind.